There's a way you take me up from down and place my feet on solid ground.
Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I've been having such a blast recording these videos and teaching you how to become her. Now let me tell you why you're not actually shy. You are not shy, sis. You're not. You're actually just dealing with fear and intimidation. You're intimidated by people in certain circumstances, but you use the word shy because for whatever reason, the term shy is more socially acceptable, more than saying I'm afraid or I'm intimidated by that person. So you hide behind this word called shy. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So growing up, I used to think that I was shy, right? I felt like whenever I got around large groups of people, I just didn't have anything to contribute. I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know where I fit in a world full of people. Or I would resolve to using the word shy, but that's not actually true. Like, I'm not shy in any way. I was actually just dealing with fear. I was afraid of people, of speaking up, of being rejected. And so I shrunk back my abilities. I shrunk back my personality because I did not want to be rejected. And for some of you, you're actually dealing with intimidation and or fear. Something has happened to you, or someone has done something to you in the past, and so you're now using this term shyness as a way to cover up fear, right? The Bible says in Proverbs 29 verse 25 that the fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe. Fear of man brings a snare, guys. It traps you. It causes you not to become all who God has called you to be. Just think of a bottle. I'm going to give you guys an example. So if you look at this bottle, right, you see that how it has a lid. Imagine this lid being fear, intimidation. So long as this lid is on, this water is not going to spill out of this bottle, right? And you can think of the water being your potential. This water is not going to spill out because there's something that is capping it. There's something that is stopping it from fully releasing. It's the same thing with fear and intimidation. When you are dealing with fear of man, fear of crowds, situations, different things like that, fear of being rejected, you are going to not fulfill all of what God has called you to do on this earth. I used to think that about myself. And that was a lie from the pit of hell because, as you all can tell, I like to talk, right? I like to talk. I do have my moments, though. It really all depends on the mood that I'm in, where I can be more reserved. So in as much as I like to talk and socialize with people and have deep, meaningful conversations, there are still moments where I don't want to talk. I don't want to be as social. I want to be more reserved. I want to be more of the person that's in the room, that's observing the room and interactions that people are having. And that's okay, too. But I would lie to myself and make myself feel like I was shy because I didn't really know how to approach people. I didn't know how to have conversations. I was just afraid, dealing with so much fear. And so I just want to tell you guys, because I believe that the first thing that can help you get delivered and to break through and break out of this lie that you've been believing all of your life is to identify what it is. Call it by name, sis. You have to accurately call it by name. Right? Breaking out of intimidation is not just for people that are extroverted. So even just this whole ideology of having a personality type, to each its own, right? But you can't say that because you're not an extroverted person, you're not going to break out of intimidation. You're not going to be all that God has called you to be. This honestly is tied into the other video that I did about you not being a product of your environment. Like, you are not going to tell me that because you are not extroverted that you are not going to break out of intimidation, or you're not going to deal with this timidity that you're claiming that you have, right? Let's just say in a perfect world you actually are dealing with timidity. Why? Let's get to the root. Let's go to the root. Let's dig deep and figure out, why is it that I am dealing with this thing? And I'm not here to toot my own horn and say that I have figured this all out myself, but I will say that I've come a long way from where I first was. Okay, so I need you all to do some deep, if you're wondering, I'm looking at my phone because I have notes on my phone, but I need you to do some deep work. Ask yourself why you constantly say that you're shy. What is it that you're trying to avoid? Who is it that you're trying to run away from? What situation are you trying to avoid, and why? We're not going to just keep saying that this is who we are, this is who we are. No, because God did not call you to be that. God did not create you in that way. That is actually not okay. A book that has really helped me to discover, to dive a little deeper into this topic of fear, intimidation, timidity, is this book called Breaking Intimidation by John Bevere. In my church, we're currently going through this book, and y'all, I'm telling you, this book has truly brought so much healing and exposure in my life and deliverance. I'm so grateful that we're reading this book. And so I'm going to put the title on the screen so that you all can check it out. But yeah, like, no longer are you going to say that you are shy, you're timid, because what is that? No, you can say you're reserved, but even in that, why? Let's get to the root. You know, like, I'm not against saying, you know, you don't have to be a super bubbly person, a social butterfly all the time. But I want to know, why is it that you are hiding behind certain personality types or giving yourself certain titles that God hasn't given you, especially if it's hindering you from, remember, fulfilling your potential, because this thing that you've labeled yourself is hindering you from being all that God has called you to be.